up, apes? Hi, lady apes, gentlemen apes. This is Ape Andy. Whisper mode because wife and my 2 kids are asleep. These are the times when I make video at home. The other times I make videos when I'm outside, jogging or after jog. Now, yes, so my apologies about my voice being so soft. Guess you have to turn the volume up. Now, okay, sharing thoughts. This is from my mentor. His name is Thomas. He's a very, very, very extremely smart ape, and Thomas has watched my videos and taught me more, saying, "Ape Andy, I'm thinking you're growing wrinkles, so here's for you to grow more wrinkles." So he taught me many things. Okay, this is sharing, dedicated to Thomas, on behalf of Thomas, my mentor. Okay, here's the thing that Thomas has told me. I'll just refer to him as Thomas. Don't want to review his whole name or ID on Reddit. Okay, now, the shorting hedge funds, the hedge funds who short GME, they're SHF, and there are hedge funds that are long GME. Now, remember Ape Andy in the previous videos we were talking about FTD, failed to deliver, and how this is a problem that has been going on for ages and ages in the stock market, still going on. Now, the short seller sells the stock. He doesn't have the stock. He short sells it naked shorting. He sells IOUs. He sells synthetic shares. Okay, he doesn't really have the stock in hand, but he sells them to you, and he gives you an IOU. He sells you a synthetic share. This is called naked shorting. Now, the SHF, they sell IOUs, they do naked shorting, and suppress the price. They bring the price down, right? So many apes own GME. Many apes own GME. But why is the price still down? Okay, because the hedge funds that are shorting GME, they sell naked, they do naked shorting. Okay, they sell IOUs. So after 21 days, they have to deliver. That is why there is a FTD T+21 cycle that we're talking about. Okay, come 21 days, then you have to deliver, right? Oh, there are many tools the SHF could use. They use deep ITM call options to reset the FTD clock, but still there is buying pressure. It's either the SHF, they buy the stock at the market price at T+21 days to give it to you, or they reset the clock by buying deep in the money call options. Then the MM has to go buy that share, right? Because it's way deep in the money. It's got to be exercised. So the MM, the broker, has to hedge themselves. They must buy that share. So anyways, at the end of the T+21 cycle, there is buying pressure. Either the SHF buys it, or the broker, who are selling the deep ITM call options to the hedge funds resetting it via deep ITM call options. Anyways, there's buying pressure at the end of FTD T+21 days cycle. Okay, so, and then the clock gets reset, right? But if the shorting hedge funds bought the shares, then that's delivered. But they don't buy it. They buy deep in the money call options. Reset the FTD 21 days. Oh, clock reset, 0 again. Counting 21 days. Okay, 21 days FTD, kick the can down the road, kick the can down the road. Okay, 21 days, 21 days, 21 days, 21 days, kicking the can down the road. However, in this process, at the end of the FTD T+21 cycle, on that day, there's buying pressure. Like we just said, right? Yes, there's buying pressure to kick the can further down the road. Okay, that's the way they do it, right? So the retail investors, apes, like Ape Andy, will just sit and watch the SHF kicking the can down the road, and we're still waiting, right? Okay, poor retails. Yes, that's right. Retail can only buy and hold. That is our only method, strategy tool. The SHF, they have many tools and had to use, right? Sell naked shorts, deep ITM call options to reset the FTD cycle. Many tools, many things they could use, options, tools they could use. Okay. Well, it sounds like the retail investors are so small, and the hedge funds, the Goliath is so huge and powerful. They have many tools to use against us, right? It seems like that. FTD 21, FTD 21, FTD 21. They could kick the can down the road endlessly. Theoretically, so to speak. Theoretically, so to speak. Okay, now. That is, if the SHF only do heavy short attacks only once. FTD, FTD, and FTD only once. But in the real world, in reality, they do short attacks every few days, correct? Yes. And each short attack by itself has FTD 21 days. FTD 21 days. So what happens? Since way back when, 2020, early, even 2019, when the hedge fund that begins with an M started shorting GME, it was like that, correct? Correct. There are many other hedge funds joining in, right? Shorting GME. It's not just one or two hedge funds shorting GME. Trust me, there are many hedge funds shorting GME, many individuals, big players, institutional or individual big players shorting GME. Okay, now, each one SHF do one short attack, then 21 days it comes back to them. They have to kick the can down the road. Now, one set of short attacks, this is one set of FTD to take care of. Second short attack, another FTD set of FTD cycles to take care. Third short attack, another set of FTDs. Fourth short attack, another set of FTD. 5 short attacks, another set of FTDs. These are 21 days and 21 days and 21 days. Overlapping. Think of it as a segment. This segment has a beginning, the day of the short attack, 21 days FTD cycle. You must have buying pressure to kick the can down the road. They overlap, and they overlap, and they overlap, and they overlap. But sometimes, no more fingernails now, okay? Sometimes they overlap, beginning segment, end segment, beginning segment, end segment. Sometimes it just so happens that they overlap the end date, the T+21 end date. Sometimes they just overlap at the same day. How did that happen? Because there's so many set of short attacks by so many different hedge funds. They overlap. What happens when they overlap? Double the buying pressure to kick the can down the road. And of course, in the previous videos, as we explained, the shorting hedge funds, they bleed, right? They bleed. So each time in the real world, in theory, they could kick the can FTD 21 days endlessly down the road. But in reality, every time they do that, there's buying pressure. In the real world, there are many different FTD cycles, and they overlap. In the real world, it costs money to kick the can down the road. You're buying the options, right? You're paying the premiums. You are paying the interest rates for the borrowed stocks, right? So in the real world, imagine you're in SHF. Every time you kick the can down the road, the cost accumulates. Your cost of kicking the can down the road accumulates. Your cost of doing business by shorting accumulates, right? So think of it this way. Every time you kick the can down the road as an SHF, the can gets bigger and heavier. But you kick the can down the road. 21 days. Come 21 days, you kick the can down the road, except the can grew larger and heavier. You still, ouch, kick the can down the road. Okay, you keep doing that. That takes efforts, that takes money, that takes bleeding, correct? Okay, you know, correct. And what do we apes do? We buy and hold. Now that I have depicted the can getting heavier and larger every 21 days, and sometimes they overlap, sometimes they have to kick 2 cans at one day, 3 cans in one day. Okay. Now, that is the can kicking scenario depicted. Now, depicting another scenario, imagine it is a stadium, okay, and there's a track and field in the center. The stadium are seats where apes are sitting. We buy and hold. We sit on the audience seat, we buy and hold. We don't use energy. We don't have to run around in track and field kicking the can. Who's doing that? The SHF. We watch the SHF running and running around the track and fields. We're audience on the sidelines. We buy and hold, and we sit there. Cost us nothing. We don't even have to run. We don't even have to sweat. And we, as the audience, apes, buy and hold, watching SHF A, SHF B, SHF C, D, E, and F running around the track and field, kicking the can. Okay, they're running around once, they kick the can again. Can gets heavier and larger. Shorting hedge fund B, run around, kicking the can. And sometimes, imagine the runners. They overlap, right? They overlap? Okay. So they have to kick 2 cans down the road at the same day, in the same day. Oh, poor HF. Poor shorting HF. Sounds tiresome, right? Yes. They are very tired. They are very weary. They are bleeding. Their energy levels dropping. Their blood levels dropping. They're running out of ammo. And you, me, apes, we buy and hold. We sit on the sidelines watching. And they're running and kicking the can down the road every 21 days, and sometimes overlapping, sometimes kicking 2 or 3 cans in one single day. That's a lot of effort, and the can grows ever larger and heavier each cycle for them to kick, because they're cost them more. Okay? And they get tired. However, why are they doing that? Because they think that we apes watching as audience in the stadium, so many apes watching, sitting and holding, they're running, kicking the can down the road. Hey, hedge fund M, how are you doing? Oh, I'm very tired. I gotta kick the can down the road. Can you help me? And hedge fund Big C says, yeah, I'll help you kick the can down the road. Another individual big investor with the initials B.G. comes along. I'll help you kick the can down the road. Okay. But they have in mind one thing. The apes will get tired and bored. They will sell and go away. Because retail investors have no patience. Retail investors have no patience. I'll say that a third time. Retail investors have no patience. That is what the SHF thinks. Do you want to prove them wrong? Well, it's up to you. Okay. Now, those retail investors, apes, who know patience is the name of the game, they just sit, buy and hold, and watch the hedge funds, SHF, kick the can down the road. Imagine every time they meet an FTD 21, T+21 day cycle, the can gets larger and heavier. Imagine you're a hedge fund. The can grows so big and so large, and you try to kick it down the road. Ouch, that hurts. Ouch, that hurts. I can say that again. Ouch, 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 that hurts. Okay. So, Patience is the name of the game. And yes, the hedge fund has this tool called FTD 21 days that is still waiting to be fixed by DTCC Rule 2021-005, which is taken off their website, citing technical formatting issues. Some I's not dotted, some T's not crossed. Thump, thump, thump. We're still waiting. Okay, it doesn't matter. Apes have patience. We buy and hold. We wait for DTCC 005, even if it doesn't come back. Psst, the SHF, they're getting very tired and weary. Cans getting heavier and larger each FTD cycle. Yeah, that's the logic there for the SHF. That is what we retail investors, apes, have to know. Patience, buy and hold. Buy and hold, patience. Be strong, apes. You know the logic now. I'm just sharing my individual thoughts. Apes are not collective groups. This is not investment financial advice. Use only money that you can afford. Do not use rent money, kids' tuition money, grocery money, gasoline money to do anything like investment. But so that you know how the SHF works, how they're growing tired and weary, how they have to do this every 21 days for each set of short attacks. There are many sets of short attacks. So there are many, many FTD cycles, and they overlap sometimes. Okay? I'll talk about it again in the next vid. Many thanks to my mentor, Thomas. Be strong, apes.